And good morning. Good morning, church.
Good morning.
First, giving honor to God and being thankful for this day. There's much I would like to share with you, but time would not permit. And I'm sure before I finish, which I don't plan to be long, the pastor may look at me and say, "Are you going to be long?" But so I can't share all that I would like to about the conference. So much takes place at an annual conference, and those of you who've been there, you know this. Now, before I talk specifically about the conference, I want to share a couple of things. One came from the sermon title this morning, Inheritance. And that reminded me of how we here at Patterson Federation, a Federated Church, being a part of the United Methodist Church, are part of the inheritance of the church, its years of existence, as this was the 174th session of the California, Nevada Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. So we are part of that inheritance. So that was a part of the pastor's sermon this morning. And another thing, I'm going to start with Saturday. On Saturday was the day that they set the appointments for the pastors. That means they assign pastors to churches. And on Saturday, we're part of the Central Valley District. This is kind of breaking into what I was going to say earlier. But our pastor was appointed, and Pastor Unchu Wong was reappointed to the Patterson Federated United Methodist Church. If you would stand and greet her, welcome her back. No, she didn't expect this, but let's stand and welcome back.
So someone told me congratulations, so I said thank you, but I hope you also hear the congratulations when you said to people that I'm reappointed.
Yeah. Well, one of the things and that was a part of the subject of the theme of the conference. Let love be. And what we've done this morning is demonstrated. We allowing our love to go forward and survive as we welcome back our pastor. Allow me to present a brief picture of why we are a church, as a church, and why it is necessary that we go to our annual conference. You may have already know this. This may be a little different approach. One of the reasons is that the church wants to ensure the orderly coordination of its organizational affairs. So if we didn't meet each year, church pieces really couldn't come together and continue to fit as they have been fitting for the 174 years of the conference. That's now the life of the church of this particular conference. Our conference is called the California Nevada Conference of the United Methodist Church. It's composed of nearly 80,000 people of faith who are members of diverse cultures and spread across a diverse geography. Just the conference that we are in. And are united in a belief in the one we call Jesus Christ. Our conference is divided into 5 districts, made up of more than 370 United Methodist churches and fellowships. Patterson Federated is located in the Central Valley District. Each district is comprised of circuits made up of 8 to 12 member churches. Pastor Munji is one of approximately 50 circuit leaders within the clergy circuit network. Because we know that just an indication about Pastor being involved or beyond the works here in Patterson, and at this church. United Methodist Church is a connectional church, which means our churches are connected by a system to guide our work and govern our policies. This also allows us to pool our resources so that we may more effectively work together and be a ministry throughout the world. So I want you to have that little background as I talk a little bit about the conference itself. This year, the California Nevada Conference met in annual session at the SAFE community, maybe the SAFE, that's the name of that convention center there in Sacramento, from June 10th to the 13th. The conference opened on Friday under the theme, Let Love Be. And from Romans 12, and you'll find that scriptorial background for this conference, and let love be. And I'm asking you to allow that to resonate with your mind. And it opened with a conference message from the Reverend Dale Witherspoon of Easter Hill United Methodist Church in Richmond, California, after which interim Bishop Sally Dick introduced Bishop Warren Brown, who would be presiding at the conclusion of the session on Sunday. So those two bishops were working together. That introduction was made. As our bishop is currently on leave for another reason. As the conference opened, ecumenical leaders from other churches were presented via video who brought greetings and offered prayers for the success of the conference. Bishop Dick, in her opening remarks, stated, "We must focus on God and be about our mission to get us through. Do your job," she says, "do your ministry, do your part, and improve and empower others to do theirs." There were over a dozen ministers who have served their churches and asked the conference for over 50 years. That's a long time to come in and answer the call to conference each year for 50 years. Conference lay leader, I'm the lay leader at Federated Church, but that's the conference lay leader. Michelle Pope started the laity address by asking, "Why are we here?" and adding, "We are a family created to do something magnificent." And the opening sermon was brought via internet. Reverend Rebecca Simon Peter had the title, "Forging a New Path." And I hope that we can resonate with some of these themes that people use. Forging a new path. And that sermon came from Luke 10. Noting that we live in a culture of contempt, and that it is important to listen to one another, stating that everyone has a ministry. We should take our calling seriously. Then we heard numerous reports. We heard numerous reports on that day. National Plan for Hispanic Ministry, New Certified Lay Ministers, Memorial Scholarship, United Women of Faith, and in their report, they stated that love in action can change the world. That's kind of a resonating theme of that presentation. District leaders, the next other reports included district lay leaders. There are 5 districts, and there was a report from each of them. And there was a report from the Reconciling Ministry Network. Now on Saturday, it started with Bible study at 8:30 in the morning, and that was presented by Dr. Jeffrey Kwan, and using Romans 12 as a reference for the Bible study. Then there were other reports, the Board of Ordained Ministry, Conference Board of Trustees, Council of Finance and Administration. There was the budget, which is always key to any conference. There was the budget and legislative section, and any changes and any introduction of new laws, directions for the church, and was an opportunity for the delegates to vote on. Then there was a fixing of appointments that we've already discussed, and which brought back our pastor. Now, on the afternoon session on Saturday included the memorial service, Remembering the Saints. There were district superintendent's reports, and our district superintendent, David, was our Central Valley district superintendent, and he gave a report for the Central Valley district. Then on Sunday morning, when we opened up on Sunday morning, opened at 9:30, services for the ordering of ministry, of which I know as the ordination service took place. And then after those services, there was an information coming back around 2 o'clock. Then there was other committee reports. The Committee on Native American Ministries, the Commission on Religion and Race. Gives you some idea of the things that are covered there. Both committees covering the continued work in search of truth, fairness, and equity in all areas of the church mission. And the Monday, again, coming to our last day at the convention. Bishop Brown, taking over now from Bishop Dick, opened the conference session, and Reverend Jeffrey Quan, president of the Claremont School of Theology, led the second part of the Bible study from Romans 12 that begun on Saturday. And let us claim, he says, let us claim our charismatic gifts to use as acts of compassion toward one another for the transformation of the world. Reverend Quan, he made this statement as well, that we were reminded by Reverend Quan that gifts are not reserved for justly ordained clergy. These gifts are from every one of us, and let's hope that our churches recognize the gifts that exist in every pew in the church, and then we just exercise our gift. But doing that gift, it empowers others, because those who have the confidence and the faith and the commitment to support and be a part of the church helps to increase the involvement of others in God's work. Then there were special awards, and as we conclude, there was a Bishop Talbot Award, One Matters Discipleship Award, recognition of retirees and licensees of local pastors to receive medallions. People were given awards and commendations there. Then there was the recognition of Young Adult Conference delegation. It was a recognition of the Young Adult Conference delegation. Now, next year, the annual conference session of 2023 is scheduled for June 9th through the 12th at the SAVE Convention Center, Sacramento. And it's hoped that our church will have an interest, and hopefully we'll be able to get other attendees there. For here's the place where we learn about the work and the importance of the work of our church and the United Methodist Church, because at the annual conference is where we receive this information and understand more thoroughly the inner workings of the United Methodist Church. And with that, and I will say this, that the pastor and I are open to any questions and interest that anyone have about the convention. As I said earlier, it's too big to try to tell you about all the good stuff that took place. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
And thank you, church.
Okay.